Hello friends, welcome to chess training. Hi, I am Nikhil Joshi, Live Chessbook Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss about the exchange variation of the Grunfeld defense. So friends, let's begin. White played the move pawn d4. So he wants to bring out his bishop and control these squares in the center. Black played knight to f6. White played the move pawn c4. He comes here to control the center. Now black plays pawn to g6. His idea is to bring out the bishop from this square. White plays knight c3. As white plays knight c3, we can see that he is controlling the squares in the center. Now if black plays bishop g7, then it will allow white to play pawn e4 and have the complete control over the squares in the center. So this is why black decided to challenge the center and he played the move pawn to d5. So you see, he is attacking our pawn. When we are playing the game, always be very careful about where your opponent is attacking. See, at the level of the intermediate or unrated players, I will say that the defense is more important than attack. Why so? Because generally I have seen that unrated players give free pieces and free pawns. So first step to improve your chess is don't give free pieces. So he plays pawn takes pawn. Now knight takes pawn. Now white plays pawn e4, attacking this knight. What are the choices that are available to the black player? Either he can run or he can exchange. Let us assume he goes to b6. From this square, where can the knight jump? There are no good jumps available. d5, c4, it is controlled by bishop. a4, it's controlled by knight. So practically there are no good jumps. So black decided to exchange this piece. Capture, capture. Now black plays bishop to g7. This placement of bishop is called a fianchetto position. What is fianchetto? If you move your bishop to g7 to control this long diagonal, or if white bishop comes say to the g2 square, bishop coming to b2 square to control the long diagonal, or black bishop coming to b7 to control this long diagonal, it is called making a fianchetto. Now white played the move bishop to c4. Now black played pawn to c5, attacking the center. Here I would like to show you one small trap. White here went for the move pawn takes pawn, and he allowed black to capture the pawn on c3. Black captured the pawn. After the capture of this pawn, he has made a double attack on the king as well as the rook. So white defends it with bishop to d2. He supports his rook. See, he knows that he is going to lose 5 points for 3, but at least he is trying to support it. Black went for bishop into a1, queen into bishop. Now see, white queen is controlling this long diagonal and attacking the black rook. Black player thought that by castling I can save my rook, and this proved to be a blunder, because now white played bishop to h6. When bishop goes to h6, can you see what is your idea? You want to play queen g7 and checkmate the king. How can black stop this? Can he play pawn f6? No, he cannot, because this bishop would give the king a check. The black pawn is in a pin. Black tried to give a check, to which white king moved inside. Now black practically cannot shut down this diagonal. So he just moved his knight, and this leads to check and mate. So friends, as we have seen, this was our first game of Grunfeld. Now let's move to the second game. White started with the move pawn d4. Black played knight f6, pawn c4, pawn g6, knight c3 and pawn d5. White exchanges. Pawn takes pawn because his pawn was going. See, remember, at the level of unrated and intermediate level, so it is more important to save the pawn. So he plays knight into d5, pawn e4, attacking that knight, knight into c3, pawn into c3, bishop g7. See, always ask yourself, where is my opponent attacking? Okay, he is attacking here, but are there enough supports? Yes, there are. So nothing to worry. So bishop c4, and after bishop to c4, black went for the move pawn to c5, hitting the center. To this attack, the white player went for the move knight to e2, supporting this fellow as well as this fellow. See, why e2? Because you support c3 square as well. Now black went pawn takes pawn, and now black played knight to c6, making the third attack over this pawn. See, black brings new piece into action. Okay, at our level, it is important to bring new pieces. So, bishop e3. Okay, so you play bishop e3, supporting this square. Now black goes queen a5, attacking the king. To defend this, white plays bishop to d2. Now let us see what are the choices for the black queen. White has attacked the black queen. Suppose if black tries to play queen b6, trying to save the queen and make third attack over this pawn. Now remember, whenever you get a chance to develop a piece with attack, never miss it. So white can play rook to b1. See, with support of his queen, he is attacking the black queen. Okay, so he is attacking the black queen. Now black moves his queen away. Black has to save it, isn't it? Now as we can see, the black is attacking this pawn with two of his pieces. We have to consider one more thing. Our bishop on c4 is standing on the line of black queen. He is in an unsupported position. Still white plays bishop to e3. Now if black thinks that I am getting a free pawn, it is practically not a free pawn. If he goes for knight into d4, thinking that he is making a discovered attack on the unsupported bishop, what white can play is bishop into d4. See, white's logic is very clear. He is attacking the unsupported bishop on g7. So if black captures our bishop, we will also capture his bishop. If he plays bishop takes bishop, now who will capture the bishop? The queen. Because we support our bishop and we attack his rook. As I said, at the young player's level, the defense is more important than attack. Okay, so you are defending this fellow. This is what can happen, and white will be one bishop up. So in the actual game, the black player went queen to a3. He ran away. Now here, white player went for castle to king side. Now black thought that I am getting a free pawn over here, because there are of course two attacks and one defense. White had already realized this, that this is what can happen, but still he allowed this. Knight into d4, knight into knight, bishop into knight. See, the black bishop has come to attack our rook. Now, normally it would be a good move to play rook b1 and save your piece. See, remember, it is not necessary that you always play a brilliant moves. Not necessary. Please remember that. Normal moves are also equally important. But here he found a little attacking move, bishop to b4. Now what is he attacking? He is attacking the unsupported black queen. At the same time, our queen attacks the black bishop. Now, suppose if black tries to connect the queen and bishop, say queen b2, supporting his bishop and queen connected, what we can do is rook b1. We save our rook from his attack and we also support our bishop on b4. See, it is very important that you save our pieces. Don't be overconfident, friends. Try to save all your pieces. Now, when you played rook b1, we figure out that we have trapped the queen. See, the black queen has no square. Where will it go? It cannot go to a2 because of bishop. So, the only choice for black, he can play bishop into f2 because this comes with check. Still, white gets the bishop. So, he has got 3 points for 1 point. And as the queen runs, you can also play bishop into f7 and white has a clear winning position because he is one bishop up. So in the actual game, the black player went for queen into b4. Now we also capture his bishop. See, whenever you sacrifice anything, please make sure that you are getting back something. Don't be under the thought that by playing the moves of sacrifice like grandmasters you can win the match. See, they are playing it after practice and experience of 15 years and you people are newcomers to chess. So play like a newcomer first. Make the defense properly, okay? So now black went for castling. He thought that by castling he could save his unsupported rook. Now white finally finds a discovered attack. Bishop into f7, check, rook into f7, and now comes queen into b4. There was a discovered attack. Now see, the bishop attacking, when you played bishop f7, discovered attack, bishop attacks king, queen attacks queen. So as he captures you, you capture his queen, and now this is winning for white player. So friends, I hope you have understood the game. Let's move to the second game. In this game, the game is from the black side. The opening was same. d4, knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, d5, c takes d5, knight takes d5. Now white plays e4, knight takes c3, pawn takes c3, bishop g7. Now white played bishop to c4 and black played pawn to c5. Now we have already seen in the last game what happens if we go for pawn takes pawn. So in the game, white player went for knight to e2, defending this square and this square. As I said, the defense is more important than attack for the young players. So black plays pawn takes pawn, pawn takes pawn. Now knight c6, develop a new piece and attack. See, at the level of young players, always try to develop new pieces with attack whenever possible. So here, white went for the move bishop to e3 now, supporting this fellow. Queen a5 check, bishop to d2. The black queen goes to a3 square. Now if you remember, in the last game we went for the move castling here. In this particular game, white went for the move rook to b1. As we go rook to b1, There is of course some purpose here. See, the white rook has gone out of this bishop's diagonal is the first thing. The second thing, he is covering the b file, and he has also taken into account that if queen into a2, the bishop is there to support it. So black went castle, and now white goes pawn d5, attacking this knight. Okay, attacking this knight. The knight jumped to e5 square. See, when we played pawn d5 and we forced the knight to run, he goes to e5, attacking the unsupported bishop. What white thought is, by playing bishop to b4, he would attack the queen. And now, look carefully. The black queen has no square to go. Isn't it? The black queen cannot go anywhere. Can you see that? The black queen has no choice, no square to go. So he went queen to f3. Now this was a big surprise for white. Why is he giving a free queen? So you know what happened? He captured a free queen, but now comes attack on the king. Knight into f3 check, controlling these two squares. King f1 and bishop h3. Suddenly the white king is trapped. So what we learned from this game, friends, when you are playing the match, always care about safety of your king. So friends, if you are liking my videos, please share it with your friends, subscribe my channel, enjoy chess. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.